Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me for our Meet the Management Team video series, where we introduce some of the executives in GovCon, their roles, how they work together on shared missions to achieve company-wide goals. I'm Amanda Ziadeh with WashingtonExec, and with me today is three members of ASRC Federal's leadership team, President and CEO Jennifer Felix, Chief Human Resources Officer Shaveta Joshi, and Chief Technology Officer Eric Velte. Thank you all so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Jennifer, we'll start with you. Tell us a bit about ASRC Federal's commitment to the Alaska Native Corporation and how this plays a role in the company's overall values and purpose.
Sure, Amanda. As an Alaska Native-owned corporation, ASRC Federal is tasked with providing enduring value to roughly 15,000 Alaska Native shareholders, really to help ensure that their way of life and their heritage is preserved. Every business has an owner, and so I would say our ownership structure really helps drive a very strong service mentality and culture. At ASRC Federal, our business is supporting the federal government, and because of that, we attract employees who care about serving our important customers' missions. But when we say that we are mission focused, it's really a dual purpose mission dedicated to both supporting those critical customer missions while also serving our 15,000 Inupiat shareholders from Alaska's North Slope.
Awesome. And Jennifer, considering ASRC Federal isn't a publicly traded company, how does this impact its long-term mindset and the opportunities for development it can provide to employees and customers?
Sure. Well, the nice thing about our ownership structure is that we really are able to have a long-term focus. Our shareholders are not focused on quarterly results or getting near-term value through a sale. They're really focused on building long-term value for generations to come. And that positively affects how we engage with our customers and employees. And it enables us to focus on our outstanding reputation as a partner and creating long-term opportunities for employees to grow and build their careers. It really means building a culture of teamwork, innovation, and embracing change is also important. Our leadership team is really driving a holistic rather than siloed focus to employee engagement and development. And because employee engagement, career planning and mobility, and technical innovation are so critical to our business, that's why I have both Eric and Shaveta here with me today. Our CTO organization is at the forefront of our strategy for sharing knowledge and expertise across our programs, which also includes redeployment of staff across programs by aligning employee skills with program needs. And Eric and his team really are taking the lead in supporting the technical development of our workforce and building technical career paths, as well as knowledge sharing through communities of practice. While also working collaboratively with our program teams to develop new solutions for customers. And then from an HR perspective, HR really is a critical facilitator across our business, bringing best practices for pulling all aspects of employee life cycle together, including leading people development and helping to position all of our people for professional growth.
Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks for helping us understand the company better and more about its mission and values. So Eric, we've heard an emphasis on the importance of knowledge sharing enterprise-wide. So what are your top priorities as CTO, and how does knowledge sharing play a role?
Sure, Amanda. So yeah, knowledge management and knowledge sharing are of critical importance to companies like ASRC Federal. My particular focus and my priorities are around the capabilities and the technology and how we go and execute our contracts and how we win new work. I think that our people are critical to both our capabilities and our technology. And the CTO shop that we've founded is founded on the premise that it's more efficient to retain and share knowledge across our enterprise than to constantly be retraining and hiring new employees to get access to knowledge. So, and by knowledge, what I'm really talking about are the processes, the tools, the technologies, and the capabilities that we use every day. As I said, most often this has to do with people, and we've really taken a unique approach to organizing our company around the center of excellence ecosystem that Jennifer referred to a little bit earlier, that has both communities of practice and also considered a matrix between our programs and our capabilities that we can use to access talent across our entire employee pool for all of our different programs. In parallel with that, my team also drives things like innovation at the enterprise level. Our COE strategy is focused on driving really a culture of innovation where ideas can take root, we can identify them, we can find the people and the experts, and then we can cultivate and develop those ideas and monetize them downstream for our programs. A lot of what that takes is finding the right connection points. In a company like ours that's got more than 8,000 employees, finding that needle in the haystack and that person who's got the critical expertise to solve a challenge is part of our mission. And we have a variety of tools for that. We've got an online repository, and we go out of our way to constantly drive employee engagement to ensure that we're attracting, retaining, and having access to those employees every chance we get.
Awesome. Yeah, can you expand a bit on the ways in which you're enabling technical talent to move within the company rather than seek outside opportunities, and also why that's so important for the company?
Sure. Yeah, it's a good question. So I'll start off by saying that the overarching goal for our program is that employees can start their careers at ASRC Federal. They can develop their skills and even learn new skills throughout their tenure with the company, and they can finish their careers here at ASRC Federal on one of our programs. We also keep in mind that not all career progress is serial or linear, right? Technologists often make good managers, and managers often make good technologists. So vice versa is true as well. Our goal is to provide the connection points, the career roadmaps, the training, upskilling, and other assistance that we require to allow our employees to explore what we have. And that's why we really created the Workforce Mobility Program. Our team identifies opportunities and programs across our program landscape. We identify key critical talent across our programs, and then we invest in that talent to ensure that we've got program mobility opportunities for the key staff that we have in the company. We do that through our centers of excellence as well as our communities of practice, but it's also part of our program startup and shutdown, right? So when a program starts up, we're out there on the forefront identifying the people, identifying the technologies and the critical skill sets, and then we assess that talent and we manage it throughout the process. We've just recently started up an internship program to get started even sooner. So before our employees graduate from colleges or universities, we're already out there looking at them. So they have the ability and the option to enroll in our internship program. I think we had just over 2,000 applicants this year for 20 intern slots. So it's a very competitive program. And the applicants come from the general public, schools across the U.S., and also our targeted universities, which are either could be critically important in a bid that we're doing in a program that we execute, or even in a strategic area. For the STRIDE program, our retention rate for eligible graduates is right around 70%. So it's been a pretty successful program. The last thing that we want to really sort of talk about is our tech summit and our technologist engagement. So a couple of our efforts include an annual tech summit. We're on the third year of that. We bring our technologists from across the company. We bring them to the Virginia, DC metro area once a year, and we get together with our partners, our business development teams, our program management teams, and we really collaborate and showcase our capabilities and our technology. That's led in part by our Technologist Fellows, which is also a program that we rebooted last year, and we're seeing some good results on. So a couple different ways there to engage our employees and really facilitate knowledge sharing across our enterprise.
Awesome. Are there any example outcomes from these initiatives and how they've increased engagement that you're able to share?
Yeah, I think there's a few examples. As I said, our 2024 summit is the third year that we're having our technology summit. This year we had more than 64 technical papers submitted for consideration for the summit. That's almost double what we had last year, and last year was an increase even over the year before. So we're really seeing record numbers of engagement there, and that's really allowing our entire enterprise to see what we do across a really broad set of companies and engage with our technologists at the same time. Another good example is one of our initial projects from the first technology summit back in 2022 was focused on AI safety and AI ethics, which is all the rage today. Everybody's talking about it. Particularly in the DoD space, we've been thought leaders in those areas. And really that started by joining our chief technologist from the AI team with a broader team from across the company to really explore AI ethics across the whole firm. Our CTO Academy was also something that we created just before last year's Tech Summit in 2023. It maps out learning journeys. That's virtual training, it's in-person training, and even partner-led training. We've had some great partners join us in that the training exercises there, AWS, Microsoft, and we just wrapped up our cloud practitioner cohort, which brought 24, 25 people up to speed from all walks of life and all different parts of the company to turn them into cloud practitioners. So we're really proud of that. And we've got 2 more in the works there, one on DevSecOps and another one on zero trust architectures.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for sharing those very cool initiatives with us, Eric. Appreciate it. All right. So, Shaveta, speaking of empowering employees and providing growth opportunities, can you expand on the investments ASRC Federal is making in its employees at all levels?
Sure. I think from an HR, standpoint, we're facilitators. We want to make sure we're enabling the tools and making sure our employees are people managers. They hear about all the, they have the right communication that's being sent to them and all the options that our employees have. We've invested in our onboarding program. Whether you are coming in as a new people manager, you have a special onboarding when you're hired to run a program, in addition to just being a new hire. So really setting them for success from early on these are the expectations and these are the tools you have available to them. Reaching out to our employees who are working on customer sites, different customer missions, different customer needs. We're also investing in an employee app. So there's a couple of active initiatives going on at our all-employee communication app. So it's easy for them to get hold of us when we're sending those messages because, these programs that we're putting in place, they need to know that they have these options available to them. We're also embarking on a journey to have an end-to-end HR system that starts from hiring to retiring and all of the learning that we will integrate technologist learning, program manager learning, all of that throughout an employee lifecycle. I'm very proud of a program where we recognize that the change has to happen sometime at local teams, right, on a program team. So we've launched our Your Voice. It's an employee engagement survey. This is our second year doing it, and it's the way we've done it as an organization is it's really local level, team level change. So each team leader, works with their team to say what are the changes they want to make, for their team engagement. And HR facilitates the framework and the intent and the tool, but really bringing in that enablement to local line management. So very proud of these investments that our enterprise tools we're launching.
All right, wonderful. And how has the HR department expanded to continue making these changes?
We had to evolve, right? I mean, from an investment standpoint, historically, organizations have looked at this as talent. There's a team that does training, then there's a team that does talent acquisition, and then there's a team that's taking care of existing employees, right? To overcome the war for talent. And we've brought in a senior vice president of talent and workforce strategy. And in the thought about that role, which I think is very innovative, is somebody needs to be looking at it holistically, working with the business early on. What are the skills of futures, whether they're technologists, what technologies we need to train our employees on, the PM skills we need to have, what are the needs of the future, what are the skills of our existing employees, how do we train, retrain them, and redeploy them? Like Eric said, it's always, the answer shouldn't be always just going out and hiring. How do we invest in our employees so they can see they can come in, doing one role thing, taking in a job in a part of the business, and then within using our learning opportunities, learning journeys, the development that we provide them, they can change programs, they can change customers, they can change, so we often say before you go on an external website, you have to go explore the options and opportunities you're given within ASRC Federal. So having a leader who can look at it holistically is something we're very proud of, and an investment we realize we have to make for this model to really work. when anytime companies lose contracts, you bring in new talent. Our focus has been for our employees that your career with ASRC Federal does not stop when a contract ends. We had a program recently, we redeployed 70% of our employees. So, to a different program. So similar skill sets, a little bit of training on, what another customer may need, and we were able to redeploy that talent. You save time, you get talent to recognize that they're part of ASRC Federal and we're looking out for their development. But it's also for a customer's mission. They don't have to, spend a lot of time having to wait for somebody to be onboarded in the organization. So that's paying off, and it's in addition to an employee on the project who may not be losing funding on a program, just wants to do something different. And how do we enable our employees to raise hand and say, I want to help out, I want to learn something new, and us as an organization enabling them by providing them the training and the resources and a framework where they can go help out and help us grow.
Awesome. All right. So how do you anticipate all these initiatives will enhance company-wide workforce and growth?
I think the big piece with these initiatives is that our employees, when they walk in and they take a job, join ASRC Federal, whether they are a technologist, whether they are our employees on the front line supporting our facilities management contract, they walking in, recognizing they're working for an organization where there is feedback loop, where they can give feedback, impact real change. They can come in taking in a one role and then grow and really feel empowered to make a difference. I think this is our employee value proposition that for them to come in and make real difference here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that perspective with us. All right. So Jennifer, to close, I have a final question for you. We've heard many of ASRC Federal's organizational initiatives, especially when it comes to people, community, opportunity, and growth. How are you leading an organization to succeed long-term? Or in other words, how does it all come together for ASRC Federal's large long-term plan?
Great question, Amanda. I think as you've heard from both Eric and Shaveta, overall, we're really focused on building an agile learning organization that is a community of talented individuals who are innovating together and supporting each other and working with our customers to achieve successful outcomes for our nation. We have deep expertise and continue to build upon it. And our goal really is to, continue to focus long term and remain, again, a learning organization that is able to continue to innovate for our customers.
Great, wonderful. Well, thank you all again so much for being here and sharing your perspectives and your shared mission and goals. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.